Gravity is a love letter the universe never finished. Before anything knew how to stay in place, before atoms learned commitment, before stars agreed to hold their shape, there was gravity. Not as a force, but as a longing to be one with nature, a quiet yes whispered across impossible distances, a tendency, a leaning. The universe did not begin with explosion alone. It began with attraction, with matter, noticing matter, and deciding against all odds to remain in conversation. That is the secret the galaxies keep, that nothing stays together by accident, that every orbit is an agreement rewritten daily, that every chaos prefers companionship. Gravity does not rush. It doesn't have to. It does not shout commands. It persuades with patience. It waits centuries for dust to become stone, millennia for stone to become fire, ages for fire to learn how to shine. Ages for fire to learn how to shine without consuming itself entirely. Stars are not born overly dramatic, they are gathered and made that way, pulled together gently enough that collapse feels like destiny instead of disaster. This is how love works too. Not lighting at first, but accumulation. Small moments bending toward each other, a laugh remembered, a silence shared, two lives curving inward long before they ever collided. Planets learned this lesson early enough to spin because they are held. They dance because something believes in them. Enough to not let them drift into nothing. Even the loneliest comet returns. Not because it has to, but because it remembers where it once felt close to something warm. And gravity teaches commitment without possession. The moon is not owned by the earth, it is trusted by the earth. Allow distance, given room to circle, to pull tides, to influence without control. Imagine if love were taught this way. Imagine if devotion meant I will not trap you, but I will remain. Black holes understand this most intimately. They are not the villain of the story. They are grief with mass. Stars that carry too much for too long and collapse inward, still loving so fiercely that even light cannot leave untouched. Yet even they give back. They bend time, they shape galaxies, they remind the universe that intensity is not the same as evil, that depth can look like darkness for a safe distance. And nothing escapes gravity, but everything negotiates with it. Even light curves politely, even time slows down to listen. This is why falling feels like sacred, while surrendering is not the same as defeat, while Why being drawn towards something does not mean you're weak. It means you're responsive to meaning. What's up, you guys? What's up, you guys? So, we are here again for another commentary, and I'm super excited. Sorry, let me move my paper. And I'm super excited to get into today's video where we are talking about how to get ahead of the trend. And the title of this commentary is going to be Lock In and Build Your Own Empire. But before we get into that, let's discuss some things, some call to action things that I need you guys to do before the beginning, before we get into the commentary of some actions you guys need to take before we get into today's video. And the first thing is that if you guys are interested in any of the information that I'm talking about in this video, you guys can check it out. More information, download the video or at least the audio version, the podcast version of it. On my website, the link will be the very first link in the description where you can get more information about anything that I talk about on my website. I will be posting direct links to that so you guys can have access to that. Second of all, I need you guys to like and subscribe. And if you feel inclined at any point in this video to leave a comment, please do so about your favorite part, about information that you didn't know but you learned in this video, about information that you want to hear in the future, right? So thank you guys so much. Let's get started with today's video. Social media trends in TikTok. Am I right? Am, am I right? As of lately, I can't tell if I should be grateful for the gratitude. I mean, for the sheer, perpetual peak of, trends in TikTok and internet aesthetics and the power of having a platform, or if I should hate it, because I'm kind of torn in the middle between not knowing if a platform should be used or not used because the sheer human basic instinct of people just using their platform for sheer nothingness. It's one thing to use your platform for, presenting yourself, presenting something that you like, supporting a brand, supporting a message. But then at the same time, there are a lot of people that don't even do anything with their platform except for talk about themselves or, the human instinct of talking about things that they hate, right? Like me, for example, we'll use me as an example. I have a platform and I could get on here all day talking about authenticity and how to use the polarity and that power of authenticity and individualism all day. But at the end of the day, will it matter? Because there are more people than there aren't talking about themselves, talking about the things that they want, the things that they want to endorse or sponsor, right? It just kind of makes it hard to, decipher the balance, decipher what's good and what's evil. Even though I hopefully believe that that is a concept that is, toxic in its belief system because of institutions like churches and, you know, institutions that teach the youth, right? But that's besides the point. We are talking about how to lock in, right? So if you do ever choose to, use your social media, to use your platform, to use your influence, um, to, influence people on a belief system or core message or something that you endorse or sponsor, how do you do it? What does that process look like? What does it look like to be able to leverage your platform, right? Leverage that experience of being an influencer or being a creator to create something bigger than you with a message, right? So that's what we're going to be talking about today. Let's jump right into it. And so the first thing I wanted to talk about was that, you know, you need to embrace your authenticity. You need to embrace the genuine parts of that message and ditch the rest, right? Because it's easy to have so much filler conversation, so much filler in your message. It's easy to just do it the entire time without a goal or a core message that is important to you, that stands for what you believe in and what you don't believe in, what you stand for and what you don't stand for, right? So that all starts with the authenticity of your brand, right? Of you as a person, of your personal branding. So you need to, first of all, be willing to do the shadow work. As a leftist, I mean, as someone who follows the left hand, right, path, I don't think that you should want a platform. You should want um, to follow the trends. You shouldn't want to have that influence without doing the work within yourself, without reflecting often. It doesn't have to be daily because, we all have our own preferences. Um, Outside of anything, right? We think for ourselves, right? Of course. But it does require that reflective work to understand yourself, to understand who you want to be, and understand what you're not, what you don't stand for, what you won't, um, you know, um, deal with, right? When it comes to outside of having a platform, yes, that's very accurate. But I think that it's important that we are thinking about the bigger picture, which is your branding, which is your personal brand, which is the face of that brand, right? What you're presenting out to the world and the representation that it comes with. There will be times when you are exhausted, right? When you don't want to, when you're not in the mood, when you feel like absolute shit and you don't feel up to it, right? But I think that there are times when those moments shouldn't dictate how we are reflective of our nature, how we're reflective of our mindset, our skill set, our instinct, right? Our thoughts, right? Because those things are things that we inevitably control, but we have to learn those things through mindset and skill set, right? We have to control those, we have to maintain them, we have to practice, and that all stems from reflecting inward and just really understanding yourself. That's why I wanted to talk about authenticity, because I think that it's important that we have that conversation about, um you being the realest version of you, right? Because the whole point, whether it be to live your best life or to be the best version of you that you can be, I think that it's important that we have, that conversation, if not anything, with at least with yourself, about who you are and the image of who you want to represent, um whether you get there one day or you don't, right? It's all about the presentation of it, the branding, the personal aspects of what you will allow and what you won't allow when it comes to what represents you, what you sponsor, what you endorse, right? So that being said, I think it's important to self-reflect. I think it's important to, look within yourself, because those things are the shadow work that we need to be doing, that are important, because, you know, outside of looking inward for yourself, you know, it's also the way that you control how the outside world sees you, right? Because at the end of the day, the truth is, it's all about that representation. It's all about that presentation of how you put yourself out there, right? As someone who has been an influencer for a really long time and has been creating content for a lot shorter than that, right? I understand the magnitude of how it works when it comes to being the face of a brand, when it comes to the presentation, when it comes to the way that you put yourself out there, because it's important. Like, not feeling stupid because you have a question and just asking for it, right? Trying to be the best um version of yourself that you can be, trying to live your best life, right? Having a voice, right? Because it's not all about just putting the content out there and wishing for the best for it, but it's also about presenting it out there to the world in the best of your ability, right? And having that voice, having that message, having that drive that pushes you every single piece of content, right? And that does not mean you have to write a 25-page script, right? It doesn't mean that you have to practice beforehand. Sometimes it is a lot easier to pick up a camera, but the correlation isn't that, that's the lazy way out every single time, right? Sometimes it's best to just pick up a camera and do it, and post it, right? Because that's the way that the content makes the most sense, right? So I think that it's important when we consider those things that we are also considering the presentation of it, right? Because people can not only feel the effort when you are um, putting a piece of content out there. If you're trying to influence, if you are trying to sponsor something, they can also see it. They can, hear it in the audio. They can, there's a lot that goes into it that we need to be vigilant of, right? Because it's kind of stupid. It's a stupid idea to just think, you can just do anything and throw it out there and wish for the best, right? That's not a good idea. So moving on to my next point is celebrating individuality, right? Because celebrating individuality is so important in this industry, and it is so not talked about enough, right? Because we get to points where everybody wants to be different, everybody wants to, say a different message, everybody wants to preach a different story, right? But at the same time, nobody is communicating with each other, celebrating each other, or, doing the actual work that it takes to be authentic when it comes to um, having a message, having a core message, having um, a branding style or aesthetic, right, that is cohesive with who you are, what you want for your brand, and the goal of why this brand should be important to your clients, to your customers, to the viewers, right? Now, we're not going to have a conversation about the difference between viewers and clients or customers, because that is a side tangent that I'm not going to go on this video. But we will have a different video talking about that later on. Just stay tuned by subscribing, and we will get to that. But I think that it's important because everybody wants, or everybody should, first of all, have a core message. Everybody should not just be an influencer just to be an influencer. They should have something that they're about, right? They should have something. And I have learned as a pagan that I think, you know, life is very similar to that in a lot of ways. And primarily one of them being that, you can wander through life aimlessly. Yes, you are allowed to do that because we all have free will. But at the end of the day, if you're not saying something important, then there's no purpose. If you're not, living that lifestyle that you could live up to, then what was the reason, right? I think that we need to be vigilant of the presentation of who we are, our branding, and what we say through our goals, through our message, through our the systems that we put in place for our brand to make them work. Right? Does that make sense? And the same thing applies to life. We need to have those systems, those structures, those institutions, right? That's why I think it's so important when it comes to profit culture, because profit culture is putting the institution in those paths that are not lesser known, but just, not the path everybody chooses, right? Even though it is growing in popularity right now, profit culture is the primary brand, right? And I have thought about that a million times, and I know I'm gonna have to think about it a million more times, even though I really don't want to at this point. I've thought about it 100,000 times 100,000, right? But I know that I'm gonna have to keep preparing and keep going and keep doing and thinking and re-strategizing, replanning, redoing, undoing stuff, all of it, for the fact that my brand is about a core message, and I'm going to do everything in my power to, first of all, leverage that with clients, with buyers, with customers, and second of all, I'm going to use that as what is going to lead me down the right path, what is going to carve the path for people who have not thought that far, who have not done the work, who um, want, a easier path than all of us just going down the hard road, right? Does that make sense? So I think that when it comes to celebrating individuality, I think that it's important because, there's a lot of times when we just need to just shut up about our opinions and our thoughts and what we, like the traditional thinking that we have, and just celebrate somebody. It's so easy to just put somebody down because we chose to stay silent, because we didn't choose to congratulate them, because we didn't choose to thank them for what they've done or celebrate someone for what they've done. We just make it hard for that person. And at the end of the day, you never know who you're going to work with. You never know who you're going to end up reaching out to, or someone's going to reach out to you for an opportunity, for a chance, for a doorway, right? Because I always have believed that every doorway that is supposed to be open will be open when I get to it, if not before, right? Because I embrace the idea of celebrating people, of celebrating individuality, celebrating everybody's accomplishments, not just mine. So that's all I have to say about that, really. I think when, okay, so in the context of, using and leveraging social media, using and leveraging um, trends and TikTok and all that, right? I think that that comes, it is very important because we can believe that we can or might have to do it by ourselves the entire way. That is fine unless it's giving you like a toxic, mentality about it, a toxic mindset about it, right? There's nothing wrong with building your skill sets to be able to reach your goals, to get to your goals, to claw and scratch and crawl to your goal if that's what you need to do. But at the end of the day, if you don't have to do it alone, but you're choosing to do it alone, you are an idiot. You're dumb because there's no reason for you to do it the hard way, to work your ass off triple as much as you have to or even want to burn yourself out, to make yourself exhausted, to dim your voice for situations and opportunities that don't even really benefit you the way that you think that they do, because at the end of the day, those situations don't benefit you the way that you think that they do, because you are burning yourself out. You're making yourself exhausted. You're running yourself dry, right? When you can ask for help, when you can receive opportunity, when by chance something can happen for you. And I think that we need to be mindful of those things because you never know when it's going to work, when it's going to work out in your favor, when it's going to unfold, right? I a popular thing about me is that I love doing that type of magic, right? Like open road magic, allowing the path to unfold magic, to do rituals and practices, and to even just writing a spell in that context really just soothes me, right? Because I love the idea of doors opening, right? For paths to be clear, right? For paths to open up and to be, um, brought to that person without all the energy and struggle and the hard work and the burnout, the exhaustion, because that's not what we should want to put ourselves through popular belief. Does that make sense? So on top of, embracing your own authenticity, on top of celebrating other people's individuality, you need to start focusing in, I mean dialing down. You need to really start locking in on tapping into your own polarity, right? This is about knowing your strengths, right? You need to know your strengths, because those are the things that you're not that you don't have to necessarily work on, but those are the things that you can dial in, you can lock in and really sharpen those skills, right? And the better you're getting, the more attention you're going to draw in, the more attention you're going to pull in. It's inevitable when you are working on your strengths, when you're working on the things that people see and notice, that you notice and see too. It's so easy to call those things out of you, that you need to be working on them, you need to be sharpening them, you need to be dialing in on your polarity, on the things that make you different, on the things that make you authentic, on the things that make you individual, right? Because those are the things that people are going to want to care about. Those are the things that are going to better your brand. Those are the things that are going to leverage your brand, right? What's up, you guys? So before we move on any further into the video, I want to thank today's sponsor of this channel. And today's sponsor of this channel is Velvet Third Eye. That's right. If you haven't checked out the Velvet Third Eye app, then you guys are totally missing out. It is a new age spiritualist app where you can find guided meditations, meditation frequencies. You can find communities that fit and describe your type of spirituality. It is a very open community. It's very warm, and everybody treats each other like family. It's such a great app, and I've been on that app for years now, since COVID, when I was stuck in the house. During the pandemic, I was always constantly scrolling on Velvet Third Eye. And Velvet Third Eye not only has text posts, video posts, pictures, and GIFs. You can respond to reels with GIFs. You can respond with videos, and unlike Instagram or Facebook or TikTok, Velvet Third Eye is dedicated for spiritualists, so it is a great app for people who are just now starting their spiritual journey, to find like-minded people like them, to find people to encourage them, to find people to hold them accountable, and for people that can push them forward. Velvet Third Eye is a great networking app where you can make friends, family, close ones, and people that you can rely on. So I want to highly encourage you guys to check out Velvet Third Eye app. Thank you guys so much, and thank you again to Velvet Third Eye for sponsoring this channel. Now let's get back to the video. So, moving forward, we're going to have a conversation about how trends work and why it's important, right? So, we're going to be talking about social media platforms like Instagram, like Facebook, like X, like Threads, right? And primarily, we're going to be talking about apps like TikTok. So, the first thing that you guys need to know, that I'm going to note on, is that you guys need to know how the algorithm works and why it's important. But before we get into that, I want to tell you guys about how the algorithm works. So, I think that a lot of people have a lot of misconceptions about, um, you know, these apps like YouTube, Facebook, Instagram, TikTok, because of the algorithm. They don't necessarily understand how the algorithm works. And that's fine. That's 100% okay. But at the end of the day, you have to understand the system to beat it first, right? You have to understand how it works, to take it apart, to deconstruct, to rebuild, right? So when it comes to apps like Instagram, like TikTok, like YouTube, Reels to be specific, I think that um you know it is very, very based off of the algorithm, right? It's algorithm first, audience second, right? So with that being said, I think that might sound discouraging to some, because oh well, why aren't they just putting people in front of the algorithm and giving them views, right? But I think that it's more of, that is how they collect the data. That is how they collect the data that tells us who's engaging with your videos, with your content, with your posts, right? So, whether you're on Facebook or TikTok, I think that it the measurement, it, first of all, it takes time for the algorithm to collect data, but second of all, you have to understand that the algorithm is always going to come first to these platforms. The algorithm is always going to come first to these platforms. That means that there will be moments where you are putting out content once a day, twice a day, right? And not really um hyper focusing on the quality, or you might be posting 3 times a day, every day of the week except for the weekend, right? Or you might be um posting the best possible time for you to post content, to leverage when your content is going to get the most views, but the algorithm engages your content every single time, you guys, on the fact that it requires engagement. That it requires engagement. Whether people are liking your videos, commenting, sharing, reposting, right? The algorithm always will put that first. And this is why it's important, because we need to understand the system, like I said before, to beat the system. We need to understand the system to figure out how to leverage that. So it's all about engagement. It's all about the likes. It's all about the comments. It's all about getting shared. And how do you hyper focus on those things? By, on your side, taking care of the quality, by posting at appropriate times, by being consistent with how you post, right? It's these things that are important, because it will show the algorithm, oh, okay, first of all, they want it. First of all, they want their content to be pushed out and be put in front of everybody. Second of all, they want to work on their content to make their content better, right? Does that make sense? And it's all about the engagement. It's all about the fact that there are people who will keep scrolling. Let's just keep it real. There are people that don't feel obligated to watch your video and be like, oh, well, that person put in a lot of work, so I should watch this video all the way through. No, it's not going to happen. It's not going to happen. And the worst part about it is that we don't hyper fixate over the quality of our video, and we wonder, why isn't my video taking off? Why isn't my video going viral? Why isn't my video being pushed by the algorithm? Why isn't my video working? Because there's no engagement. So the top 3 things that you need to be paying attention to when it comes to how trends work is the algorithm, engagement, and consistency. The algorithm, engagement, and consistency. So let's talk about it. I think that I finally figured out how the algorithm works, because keep in mind, I've gone viral a bunch of times, a handful of times, right? All completely 1,000 billion, 1 billion% on accident is the craziest part about it. A lot of them, more than likely, were embarrassing videos I was not trying to make go viral. I did not want people to see, in fact. So the opposite, right? Giving that authentic, giving that authentic vibe that, I'm just posting just to post. But those are the videos that caught on. Those are the videos that people watched all the way through. Those are the videos that people liked, that people left comments for no reason, right? And so the algorithm thought, hey, people are watching this video all the way through, hitting the like button, commenting, and subscribing to this channel. Then I'm going to share it. And that's what the algorithm did, right? So when it comes to engagement, I think that it's important that we master it by, first of all, the high quality, like I said already, being authentic, like I said already, and having a core message, like I said already. Those things are so important because before we ever go and try to understand how trends work, we have to understand how they work. What can we do? What's our leverage on our side that we are capable of, right? So trends work like this. Because I think there's a lot of misconception about trends, because people don't think that trends have seasons, right? People don't understand virality. They just understand the numbers. People see the effort of what's right in front of them, the video, the content, the piece of content, the clip, the reel, but they don't see the hard work that went behind it, right? And that's what causes the misconception. How trends work. Trends have seasons. Trends have lifespans. Trends have seasons when they're more than likely to go viral, and how long they last, and if they're replicable, sorry, if they're replicable. And trends, last but not least, this is probably the most important, is that trends actually can start. The easiest way to start a trend is by replication, by repetition, by committing, by consistency, right? So let's talk about it, because when I was I think I have a video of me doing the cup song with my cousin, and he's like dancing in the background being goofy, um and he's the one singing. He's dancing and singing, and I'm doing the cup, right? If you've ever heard the cup song. But that video got 1,000 views in one night, when I had posted for 3 years, as long as I've been on the internet. At that point, that video got 1,000 views overnight, and I had never gotten a single view. I had never gotten a video more than 5 views. And it was 100% on accident. Why? Because at that time, the movie Pitch Perfect, where she auditions and she does the cup song because she doesn't feel like she wants to impress those girls, right? I think is vital, the vital information of how a song goes viral through repetition, because everybody was doing the cup song after that. And I realized that. I knew that. I didn't realize that. I knew that everybody was posting their version of the cup song. But I didn't realize that people are recreating it. Yes, but there are thousands and thousands, multiple of people looking for those videos to watch. Does that make sense? So there are um a couple of different versions of trends. There are, the iconic trends, the dance trends, the trends that are replicable. There are TikTok sounds, right? There are challenges. There are I said dances already, didn't I? Right? So you get the point. There are a lot of different trends, think pieces, um are probably one of the hardest things to make go viral in this context, because a commentary is one of the hardest things to make go viral in this context, because it's so hard to replicate those. That's why I have been doing challenges on my channel that is coming very, very soon. So make sure you stay subscribed to come up with a challenge for every day of the week, for think pieces, for commentary, for video essays, because those are the hardest videos to replicate, to redo. When you have a piece of content that is easy, you know what you said, you can just say it again. You know what music you use, so you can just use the music again. You already memorized the dance to do the video. You could do the dance again in a different setting, right? Just the little tweaks and reposting it the exact same way is exactly how trends work. Now let's talk about why it's important. Because you're gonna have to lock in on this if you want to build your own empire, right? Let's lock in and get into it. Why the trends are important. Because as a content creator, our leverage is in getting ahead of the curve. Our leverage is marketing yourself endlessly on the endless internet, right? Just pushing yourself and throwing yourself out there at every direction, at every angle, everywhere, everything, all at once, right? On this vast ether that we call the internet, right? That's what it's about. And it's important because if you are ahead, first of all, you can't lead the trend if you are not ahead of the trend. You can't lead the trend if you're not ahead of the trend. Second of all, you have to understand there's one thing to really boost your mindset and to really get active, and it's that trends take replication, and that takes consistency. Trends take replication, and that takes consistency, right? And that is why the trend is important, because we need to be ahead of the curve at all times. It's possible. We can do it. It's viable, right? So why not? And instead of saying why not, let's say why not me? Why can't I go viral? Why can't I? Why shouldn't I then? Then what am I waiting for? So the question at hand really is, so do we try to get ahead of the curve, or do we try to follow the trend? This is the question that sparked this entire video essay. So let's get into it, because I think that there will be times where we are tired and exhausted and don't know what direction to go in. We're lost, we're frustrated, we are hurting because we're not necessarily getting um we're not getting the feedback that we want. We're not getting the um traction that we thought we could get, right? So I wanted to pour into you guys for this section of the video essay, because yes, I do commentary, but I am also a spiritual coach. I am also a life coach. I am also, you know, um, a modern applied psychologist. So I keep, you know, a good mindset on me at all times. So I wanted to pour into you guys, not because of my accolades, because what I've done, because of who I could be or who I am, but just because I know what it's like. I know what it's like to have a hard time. I know what it's like to be tired, right? But you still have to keep going and still have to keep being consistent and being still having to show up for yourself, right? So let's talk about it. So I have a few points that I want to give you guys some tips, some advice for, following through with being a content creator, with being an influencer, because it's important that we, encourage each other, that we continue to help and push each other forward, because that's what our community should be based on, right? So my first point for you guys, my first piece of advice is that you have to learn to trust yourself. You have to learn to trust yourself, because if you are always second guessing yourself, if you are always unsure of the next move, if you have a plan but you're not sure if it's going to work out, then you are going to second guess yourself into the abyss. Okay? You guys are going to second guess yourself into the algorithm jail. And trust me, as someone who knows, you have to put on that confidence, right? And a part of that is going to be about my it's going to be very relevant in my next piece of advice, because I don't think, you know, it's necessarily about the content you create. It's about how the algorithm is willing to share your content at the end of the day. Um, so when you learn to look at it from a business point of view, instead of about the purpose, right, or the progressive ideas, right, because that's what we want it to be about. But at the end of the day, it's more important that we are focused on the business aspect of it from a point of view of being professional, of showing up, right? And I think that that is relevant to a lot of content creators, because we are so quick to second guess. We're so quick to have second thoughts. We can be unsure about a lot of things. Kind of often. Um, it just the thoughts, the negative thoughts, they weigh on us, and that's the truth. It's like that with a lot of content creators, more than none, right? To be um to be truthful. I think that when it comes to the moral responsibility, I think that, yes, we want that obligation. We want that purpose, right? But it's a lot less um about, you know, the actual context of it, right? It's a lot less about the context of it, and it's a lot more about trusting yourself, and putting on the confidence. And then my second point is keep showing up for yourself. But in the context of my first piece of advice, it is very about learning to trust yourself. Keep showing up for yourself. Keep learning to trust yourself, because those things will boost your confidence, will boost your strengths, will teach you to learn how to work with your weaknesses, to mediate, to show up for yourself, and to really wear that confidence in a style that is different, that is new, right? Because people are always fighting for the attention span of someone to watch their content, but no one wants to think about the fact that you know it takes confidence in knowing what you're gonna do. It takes confidence in knowing, I know that this is going to catch on. I know that this could go viral. I know that this is practical and realistic, right? I think that we need to be a lot less focused on the idea that, you know, people want content that is that doesn't exactly apply to them, right? Because the truth is the truth is people only want the content that pertains to their life, their what they're going through, what they're learning, their lifestyle. And that's important to keep in mind, because it can't always be about us. It can't always be about us. And that is one of the hardest things to trust when it comes to trusting yourself, because we're not sure if we could tap into being in someone else's mindset, right? We're not even sure. But don't let your negativity um don't let your negativity stop you. Don't let the negativity slow you down. Don't let it stop your creativity. Don't let it make you scared to move, right? So, moving on to my next piece of advice is keep showing up for yourself. And this is so important. This is so important, you guys, because you guys all have the potential. Every single one of you. And it's up to you, by showing up for yourself, that you are able to find the right path for you. You can find the right path that will take you far and wide, that will take you to all the places you could imagine. You just need to understand, be realistic, and really vision that lifestyle of the person that you want to reach, because it can't be about you anymore unless it's about you showing up for yourself. There will be a lot of negativity. There will be a lot of being drained and burnt out, okay? There will be. But no matter what, keep showing up for yourself. It's the best thing that you can do, and wear your confidence on your sleeve and keep showing up for yourself. So, my next piece of advice, while I'm pouring into you guys, is that making Make branding your strongest strength as early as you can in the game. Make branding your strongest strength as early as you can in the game, because it is going to take a lot more than a creative streak. It's going to take a lot more than having a strong mindset. You are going to have to understand the branding of your brand, the purpose, the direction, the creativity, being practical, being realistic, the life of the person, the client, customer, the viewer, whoever that you are trying to reach. You're going to have to understand their life 100%. And then on top of that, you are going to have to fight for their attention span. You're going to have to fight to make new content all the time. And you're going to be burnt out. But it will be so much easier when you make branding your strongest strength as early as possible. As early as possible. Just trust me. Because your brand is the most forefront of everything that you create. The most forefront. It is that important. So we need to understand how relevant it is, because we need to understand how it works. We need to understand how to move and what path to take, what choices to make, what decisions to make, because newsflash is not all by design. It is made and created for you to carve your own way. Okay? And so my last piece of advice. Sorry, I keep rubbing my eye. So the last piece of advice I'm gonna give you is make a planned out vision. Okay? Making a planned out vision was the best thing I could have ever done. It was the best thing I could have done. Let me tell you why. Because when you make a planned out vision and just follow through with the plan no matter what, you can't fall off. You cannot fall off. In having a plan for your brand, right? Having a plan to show up for yourself when you are lost in the confusion and don't know what direction you're in, or let alone where you're going, right? Make a plan. Make a plan to show up for yourself. Make a plan for your branding. Make a plan for all your strong points that you are good at. Make a plan for all your weakest strengths that you need to work on. And I promise you, you will learn to trust yourself. You will learn that you cannot fall off, no matter if you were trying to fall off. Because a vision is all about the follow through, not the destination. So, for chapter 4, we obviously have to have a conversation about marketing yourself on the endless internet, right? Because it can be a pretty hard knock life when you are trying to market yourself primarily on the internet, right? So let's talk about it, because I've had some success, right? So I have some little tidbits and wisdom that I can share. Not that I know, everything, let alone enough to repeat it or do it again, right? But I wanted to have a conversation about commercial success, because I think that it is important that we talk about it, because it's important that you have the conversation with yourself about commercial success, because there are A lot of things that can go back and forth, right? That require a decision, that need a choice to determine what path you're on, to determine what path you're going down. So we need to have a conversation about commercial success. We need to have a conversation about what you're inspired by. um I think that it's important to have those conversations about what you're inspired by, because there are a lot of people that are inspired by very little but know how to make something powerful out of it. Or there are people that are inspired by everything, right? Everything is their muse, right? And they make very little, right? But I think that it's a good conversation to have, just to open that dialogue of what you are aiming for, right? What's your creative direction? What are you wanting to fulfill or to find purpose in while you're pushing this brand, this spiritual brand, right? To build your empire, because it's gonna take those dialogues, those conversations with yourself, and to really envision them, to really plan them out into something that is worth, you know, sharing to your team, or to worth leading people in that direction, right? So it's gonna have to make sense. It's gonna have to make sense just a little bit, but I'm here to tell you that it is not hard. But let's get into it. We're gonna be talking about getting excited for something when you don't have anything to inspire you or to push your creativity, whether it be through burnout or whether it's not. And we're gonna be talking about um building lore for your brand, right? So let's jump right into it. So here's my thing about commercial success, right? I have never wanted to root for commercial success until I launched my brand Profit Culture, because I have never created anything I felt like was tangible enough, that was, big enough to supply a commercial industry within a commercial industry, let alone a whole commercial industry. That's insane for me to think about still to this day. And with Profit Culture, it was very based off of my teachings, having a lecture every now and then, writing a video essay, creating, posting a actual essay, like those little things on the internet, but never something that I would ever view as commercial, right? Or within an industry that would make sense, because it wasn't, um the value was there but the volume was not. Does that make sense? So I think that it's important when it comes to having this conversation, first of all, that you think about, are you ready and willing to start creating on a commercial level? Are you ready and willing to start teaching and spreading your message on a commercial level? Because the truth is, we don't all have to be like Brian Sanderson, or you know, um, Sarah J. Maas putting out a bunch of books. We don't have to be that author that is pumping out 12 books a year, right? To land something on our teachings, from our teachings, right? We don't have to do all that. But the truth is, it's gonna take a lot more energy. You're gonna get spread thin. You're gonna be have to be here and there at the same time, and it's a little crazy. So you have to embrace for it. And I'm here to tell you that it's not as hard as it sounds. To be honest, you just have to, be willing to start learning how to understand how media works, how video works, how content works, how music works, streaming, and you will start to get the gist of how to distribute your teachings, your lessons, um your own way, right? Does that make sense? In your own way. So I think that it's important because, when it comes down to it, you would think, because there's an industry for it, right? With all the coaches, the spiritual gurus out right now, all the TikTokers with the online course, even, right? You would think that there is a set industry standard, but I'm here to break the good news to you that there is not a standard. You make your own path, and we're going to talk about that a little later. So I want you to put a pin in that for right now, but we're going to come back to it. I promise. And it's all going to make sense before the end of the video. But when it comes to commercial success, it's more about the mass, more about the volume, more about the number of products, not the quality of the product. And if you are willing to teach and to coach or to lead the way for someone who is a spiritualist, who is stuck or burnt out or exhausted, then you might have something that is going to go far. Okay, it's not about industry um quality, it's about industry size. And I'm here to break some more good news to you that it's not that hard. All you have to do is think big. Think big, think numbers. And you're gonna have to come across math, um regardless of whether, with finances and business stuff. So I think that I don't have to necessarily touch exactly on that, but you have to be able and willing, because a lot of people are not and do it anyways, to reach for the numbers. You have to be willing, sorry, I can't talk, willing and ready to reach for the numbers. So let's talk about it. Um, I think with profit culture, I started off with a plan, with a vision, with a lot of stuff written down to play out exactly how it was written down, but not too specific where if I fell off, it would matter, right? That kind of structure, that kind of system will benefit you in the long run. And I know we already talked about that. I know I said it already, but when I tell you it's so helpful, it can benefit you so much. It's so great to have a plan where your vision is set out right in front of you, and all you have to do is keep reaching for it, because you cannot fall off. You cannot mess up. You got it. You got it. And that's how you're going to do it, with a plan. To be honest, I started off very strong, right, with the numbers. Um, Releasing commentaries once a week, an hour plus. Releasing lectures an hour or longer, um, on my website, right? Releasing teachings on forums and platforms and social media that, somebody might not have ever seen, but so much stuff that it was everywhere though. And I did start off strong, but I think that was because I had took the time to understand how long was it going to take. And as soon as I was done, bam, however long it was going to take, I was going to spread it out times two, so I had time to make more, but also had time to rest. Okay? Commercial success is all about planning when you can rest, in the same method I just explained. Okay? It's not that hard, I promise. So, um, let's move forward. So I think another thing that I was very, very hyper focused on that benefited me so much was using the resources that these apps, that these platforms give you, because they are there for a reason. They're there for a reason, okay? So you need to be using them. You need to understand how these platforms work. You need to understand how to use them to the best of your ability. You need to understand that, they are there for a reason, so you might as well be using them, especially if it's going to lift you up, especially if it's going to push you forward. especially if it's gonna get you ahead of the next brand, right? And that's what's important. All right. So before anybody says anything, I want to clarify something. The protest was supposed to be peaceful, like extremely peaceful, like aggressively peaceful. We had signs, we had chants, we had reusable water bottles. This was supposed to be an organized moment of civic engagement. The issue was, were we protesting? Honestly, that part got a little unclear. It started off as a protest about rising rent prices. Then someone brought up corporate greed. Then someone started talking about the price of eggs. And at this point, it turned from a general protest to about the system. Yeah. Just all of it. Every part. If it had logos, we were mad at it. So we're downtown, right? Crowd of maybe 40 people. Some people had megaphones. Some people are live streaming. One guy brought a drum for no reason. You always have that one protest drummer. Nobody knows who invited him. But suddenly, here's the soundtrack of the revolution. Boom, 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 boom. Now, I'm here holding up my sign. And my sign says, if the economy is on fire, so are we. Now listen, in hindsight, maybe the sign was too literal. Because eventually someone says, yo, we should light something symbolic. Makes sense, right? Now when someone says symbolic fire, you assume something small. A candle, maybe a little ceremonial thing, something cute and revolutionary, but no. Someone brings out a trash can. Now suddenly the energy changes. The crowd starts chanting. The drum guy goes into boss battle mode. Boom, 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 boom. And somebody says, let's light it! And this is when my brain said, maybe we don't need to participate in spontaneous street fires. But instead my brain said, you know what? This is history. So I grab a piece of cardboard for my sign. Someone hands me a lighter, and I say the dumbest sentence ever spoken at a protest. Let's make it symbolic. Who am I, Batman? So I light the cardboard, and for a moment, it's actually kind of dramatic. Little flame, crowd cheering, everyone filming. I'm feeling like I'm in a documentary. But then the wind shows up, and the wind is not on our side, because suddenly the flame goes up. It goes from small symbolic protest flame to full anime power up. And before I knew it, the whole trash can's on fire. Now, not in like a cool revolutionary kind of way, in like the city is going to send me to jail for this. People start backing up. Someone's yelling, yo, that's a real fire, which yes it is. Now the crowd does what the crowd always does when things start to get a little bit too chaotic. Half the people run away, half the people start recording. Vertically at that, I don't know why. And I'm standing there realizing something terrible. Technically, I started the fire. So now the fire department gets called, sirens coming, lights flashing, and the protest drummer, he's still playing. Now, this is when the fire truck pulls up and the firefighters jump out. They're moving fast, professional, focused, and one of the firefighters steps up and listens. This man looked like he walked straight out of a calendar. Tall, strong, jawline carved by destiny. And he walks up and he goes, "Who started this fire?" And the crowd does something incredible. Everybody points to me. Immediately, no hesitation, 40 people just turned into a professional snitch club. Now I'm standing there like, okay, technically it was a group activity, but sexy firefighter man is already walking towards the trash can with a hose and he sprays it down. In about 2 seconds, fire gone. Revolution postponed. And then he turns back to me. Luckily, everybody starts to back up at this point, and he looks directly in my eyes and he says, "Sir, what exactly were you trying to do?" Now I panic because how do I explain symbolic protest arson? So I say it was supposed to be metaphorical. He blinks just once. Then he says, "Sir, fire is not metaphorical." And honestly, that felt like life advice. Then he shakes his head and goes, "Next time, maybe use a sign." And I'm like, that was my sign. And he looks at the half-burnt cardboard in my hand, and just sighs. But before he leaves, he says, "Try not to start any more revolutions today." Then he walks back to his truck like an absolute legend. In the crowd, they start cheering. Not for the protests, but for him. Someone literally yelled, "Thank you, Fire Daddy." And that's when I realized something. The protest failed. The system survived, and the only person who actually won today was that sexy firefighter who saved us from our own symbolism. And me, I went home, a little embarrassed, a little wiser, and with a new personal rule. If a protest ever includes the phrase, "Let's light something symbolic," I'm going to run to the snack table instead. What's up, you guys? Hold on. What is that? Oh, wait. Damn, but I need that. Hold on. Sorry, I put you down. Okay. What's up, you guys? No, let me get this and that. Okay. What's up, you guys?
What's up, chat? Oh, hi, Amara. I see Amara's in the chat. Jacob's in the chat. David's in the chat. Michael's in the chat. What's up, Michael? Mikey. Uh, what's up, you guys? So we are trying to get to the next level right now. Um, I'm on level 6, almost to level 7, and I need your guys' help. So send me gifts if you can. Send me gifts if you can. Send me diamonds. Yeah. Yes. Yes. Thank you, guys. Is the music too loud? You guys have to let me know. Is the music too loud? Oh, well, it kind of turned down a little bit, and I'm still asking. Just let me know. Yes, I did get sick. I got sick 2 days ago. I slept over at my friend's house because he had a party, and I crashed there. And I woke up in the morning feeling like shit. I was waiting outside for my Uber, and it was so fucking cold for like 15 minutes. And I think I was sick before then because he did not have the heat on like a fucking weirdo. So yeah. No, you know what? I did have a blanket. I slept on his couch, and I did have a blanket, but I woke up feeling like shit because it was probably room temperature in that bitch, and it's snowing outside. So, you know, I was bound to get sick. Either that or one of my roommates here had it, and because they're all sick too. And I didn't give it to them because I was the last one to get sick. Thank you, thank you, thank you, thank you, thank you. Yeah, I was like the last one to get sick. I mean, everybody else is still getting sick, but that's because everybody else is sick, right? Thank you for the diamonds. So yeah, I'm exhausted because I have been laying in bed all day. Well, not today, obviously. It's like 9 o'clock in the morning, but obviously not today. But for like the past 3 days to try to feel better, and it's not working. I just still feel like shit. At first, I thought it was my sinuses, you guys. Oh, thank you for the silver seal. Thank you. Thank you, Danny. Oh, and you know what? Michael said that in the live stream. I feel like that was so funny. Yeah, we sure did. Yeah, they were giving him all kinds of silver seals. But yeah, because I think he said on his last live stream, even though that was like 3 days ago, that he was like level 9, I think he said, or 8. And he was trying to go up a level, and he ended up going up like 2 levels. Yes, yes. Thank you guys. Thank you guys so much. Welcome, welcome, welcome to the chat. Welcome to the chat. What's up, you guys? What's good? Yeah, so I'm gonna be sniffing all live stream because I do not feel good. Yes, I'm on level 6, so he's a level higher than me. I have been trying to get my live streams up, but I have a hard time focusing when I'm sitting still, when I know I have to sit still, because I don't want to sit still all of a sudden. Yes. Oh, hold on. Let me block you. I do not want you in my chat, bro. So fucking annoying. Yeah, you will get kicked. You will get kicked out of my live stream because you were talking shit. Give a fuck about nobody talking shit on the internet. What the fuck? A faceless profile. What the fuck? Fuck out of here. Thank you, Gabby, for the silver seal. Yeah, so I've been trying to rest, take it easy. I took a 100. I took a 100% break on all the work and all that because I don't know, my brain was kind of fizzling out slowly. So I was just like, why try? Why even bother wasting my, time and energy? Was that supposed to be like a smart comment? I mean, I've said that before on my live. I've said that before on my live. I'll say it again because I don't have a job. I don't. Not right now. I don't. But keep in mind that it's only been since September. It's only just now. Tomorrow will be February. What? Why can't I enjoy, my time? I'm actively looking for a job. What do you mean? What does that mean? Thank you. What's up? Stay sober. What's up, Tyreek? What's up, you guys? Sorry, I'm not gonna do that. But yeah, I said that before in the live. I had to quit my job. They were racist. They were racist. They got on my nerve every day, and I worked the hardest. I was the leader of my team. I trained everybody, and they treated me like shit. How were they gonna treat the people on my team? That's what I was worried about. I was not worried about them treating me like shit. It's a job. Everywhere will treat you like shit if you let them. That's the way life is. My thing is, you're not gonna have me be the leader of a team, treating us all like shit, and they're looking to me about it. No, nope. Because I didn't even want to be leader of that team. What are you talking about? I trained all of them, and everybody was so fucking disrespectful to me, so I had to quit. But I don't get why you brought that up. I never even said that. No, I never mentioned that on this live stream. What are we talking about? Hold on, you guys, because I can't hear the music all of a sudden. That's as loud as it goes. Why is that? That's so confusing. I don't know. Like 1 minute it's too loud, I feel like, and then the next minute you can't hear it. Like I don't know what's going on. But the first like two times it happened, it was just in the same songs. This time it's a different song, so I can't hear it. Maybe it's just the song. I don't know. I don't know. It's a weird playlist. I made this playlist forever ago. Oh, thank you. Yeah, I did make this playlist a really long time ago. I don't ever listen to it because I have better playlists that are newer. You know how that goes. Oh, but now see, I hear this one. Okay, turn up. Uh, I hear this one. Okay, you guys. Let's get a box I need a box. I need can someone send me a box, and then I will start the live stream. I need a dragon too. So send me a dragon, you guys. During when we start. Not don't send it right now though. Don't send it right now though. I need a dragon. I need someone to send me 7 boxes. Thank you. Thank you, John. Hi Tiffany. Hi. You have not been on live stream in so long. Hi. Are you lurking in the chats? Is that what you're doing instead of live streaming? Yes. Why are you not live streaming? I love your streams, girl. Oh my god. I can't believe I saw that. That's crazy. Well, hi Tiffany. Thank you, John, again for the box. Come on, you guys. I need the boxes, the boxes, the boxes. Let's go, let's go. So I can start this stream. Am I ready? Are you ready? That's a good question. Let me see which one this one just so happens to be. Yeah, this is it. Yeah, I'm ready. You see how to check first. Thank you, guys. Okay, we got 2 boxes. Starts with 14. I need 3 more people to send me boxes, you guys. Oh, thank you for the gift. Thank you for the silver seal. Thank you for the thank you. Yeah. That was a good song. I hate that I don't play this playlist because it has a couple good ones in there, you know? But the whole playlist doesn't make me want to go find it, you know? I could be a DJ. I could be a good DJ. I could be a good DJ and I'm forgetting my playlist. What? What? I could be a good DJ and people would forget about my set and be like, oh, yeah, this one has 1 or 2 good ones. Oh, thank you, John. John sent another box, you guys. Okay, we need 2 more boxes. We're at 21. We need 38. 28. Sorry. I said 38. Did I say 38? I feel like I didn't say the right number. All of a sudden my brain was like buffering. I was buffering. Tiffany, oh my god, I cannot believe I saw you. I can't believe you're in my chat. Who else is here? You know everybody's gonna see you. You have not been on live in like 2 weeks. It's been like a fucking month. Oh my god. Tiffany, you need to go back on live, girl. I love your live streams. Oh, you're redecorating too, anyways? She said she was redecorating anyways. Oh, yeah. You guys know I don't have a set spot to live stream anymore. Not since I got up and I got used to just walking around and bullshitting. Yes. Okay. So thank you for the box. Right. Thank you, Omar. I can't read apparently. Oh, thank you, Omar. Shout out to Omar. He sent the last box because John sent 2 boxes, and Omar saved the day for you guys. So yes. So I'm trying to level up because I think I've been on stream for it's been way too long. I think I don't want to say I got stuck, but I feel like I got stuck um on level 6, and I've been on level 6 for so long. I'm ready to, you know. So I'm just trying to get the gifts, and the algorithm will um promote my live when people are gifting and the chat is active. Yeah, you guys are always active. No, I actually scroll upwards. You know how like if you're at the bottom, the chat will move. I scroll up just a little bit, and so the chat does not move, and I'll scroll when I'm ready. I'm pretty quick at it. That's why I can do that. But a lot of people might just accidentally, let it sit there or forget to scroll up every now and then. I'm pretty active with it, so I was like scroll up. Thank you guys. Thank you for the sales. I mean scrolls. Okay. A whole bunch of silver scrolls. Um, yes. Okay. Thank you for reminding me. Frick. Yeah, you remembered. So we are doing an event. Tomorrow night. Tomorrow night. The look at you being on point. I fuck with that. I fuck with you. Um, we're doing an event 2 nights from now at 7 on live stream. So you guys should come through. It's gonna be a great panel. Make sure you guys get your gifts ready. I want you guys to not worry about me, but worry about Michael. Is Tiffany gonna be there? I don't even know if she's still in the chat. Um, oh yeah, okay. So yeah, Michael's gonna be there. Tiffany's gonna be on the panel. I want you guys to worry about them. Um, to gift Rami, because Rami is still on like level 3, and I really really want to support him. I'm gonna support him. I'm gonna support everybody on the panel, and I would appreciate it if you guys didn't focus on me, but help them out. Yeah. So yeah, it's gonna be a really cool panel. We're gonna do um some crazy stuff on live, and then at the end we're gonna play games that they have set up already. I have no idea what games they're going to be. They're not supposed to tell us, but some of us already know. Yeah, it's going to be one of the 5 people panels, the seven people panels. We might have guests too, so you know how that goes because we had guests in and out the last stream, so you know how that goes. No, we sure don't. No, nope, we don't, because first of all, I don't even know what games we're playing, what we're doing on the live stream. Why would I let guests up on the panel and it's not my panel? How would I even do that? Oh, it's right here. Let me. Oh, I love that. I love that smell. The cologne. It smells so good. I be spraying it sometimes every like once an hour on the hour. It's crazy. Hell yeah, I waste cologne. Hell yeah, I do. Use it for what? I don't have a job. I'm not going to a party wearing this cologne. No, what the fuck? I'll get sweaty and hot and sweat it right off. It would not stay. That's dumb. Most of the time, I take forever to get ready. Anyways, I would just get out the shower and go. I don't have time. Then like nobody's waiting on me, you guys. That's what y'all think. Y'all think because last time somebody was like, "Oh, you're not gonna do your makeup. You're not gonna do your makeup. You're not gonna do your makeup." No, you saw me doing my makeup. You saw what I was gonna do. You saw what I did. Like they're not waiting on me, you guys. They will pull up and then drive off without me, even if I'm like coming down the stairs. Yeah, they do not wait for me. So I just I don't know. I just have to take it easy with all that. I get out the shower. It takes me already fucking 30 minutes to pick an outfit, and then I change it 12 times, and that stresses me out every time I do it. It does not get easier. It does not get easier. Yes, that reminds me. And I found my those chains that I wear on my pants. I found both of them. Yes, I'm gonna wear those the next time I go out. I don't care what I'm wearing. I'm wearing those chains. I was thinking this morning, matter of fact, I was thinking, since I found them, I want to figure out how to wear them on like my upper body, not just my pants. Cause yeah, they look cool on my pants, but I wore them I think twice already, and they were just clipped to my pants. I want to figure something else out. I'm gonna make that shit a shirt. What are we talking about? And I went back to that store, and they are so expensive now. Those those pants, though, I think they're like, you know what? Now that I think about it, I think that they're like dog, like those chains that you walk a dog on, and they're just like the metal chains, like the really cheap ones. They're so expensive now at that store. I'm so glad I got mine before they got expensive, especially because I can't afford it. That's okay. We've raised almost $50. Yeah. Oh, and then the boxes. I was looking at where it says the sales. You know how it will tell you like each individual how much you got of that one, not how much you made in total. I don't know why. They should change that. That's a weird feature on this live streaming app. I think. Oh well. Oh look. It okay. So it does tell you a total. That's what I was looking at. It's like really little. I can't see it. But yeah, we almost made it $50. So I will get that. Oh, sorry. So I will get that literally I think on the 6th. So in like a week from now. Yeah. Hi Rachel. Welcome to the chat. What's good? What's good? How are you? Oh, thank you for the heart emojis. Um, what was I gonna say? I totally forgot. Hi Ashley. I saw that they are trying to make the where you can like cash out all your coins, your diamonds, to what else is there? I'm sorry, my brain is so everywhere. What else is there? There's coins, diamonds. Oh, and your star. I don't know because I haven't gotten that far. The star coins. Is it like star coins, you guys? Who here is on a high enough level for that? I want to know. Let me see. Let me see. Ashley is. Rachel is. That one. 1991 Queenie is. Okay. Period. Hold on. Period. Let me. Okay. Um. Because I'm not sure. I'm not that far yet. But they're trying to make it to. I saw that update where they're trying to make it the 15th and not the 6th anymore, where you can get your money. I'm like, I hate that. I low key hate that because I feel like if they moved it once, they're gonna start moving it a bunch of times. Yes, the music is still on. Yeah, I feel like they're gonna start moving it. No, I I have music for like background music. I have music for to listen to. There's the difference. I don't have them labeled differently. Yeah, they all just have like a title. I just kind of know the difference. Thomas said, "How many playlists do you have?" I have, I think like 120. I think. Oh, 119 because one of those playlists is like it was like a recommended playlist, and I went through and saved each one so I could listen to it again. Ask me how many times I listened to it. No, literally, I listened to it like once, and I was zooming through it, skipping songs. It was a good playlist, so that's why I saved it, but I just never listened to it. It was like house music. Nope, I sure cannot play house music on live. No, it was fun though. So yeah. What was I gonna say? Oh, so yeah, I don't know, and because what do I care? What do I care that she's on live? Who is that? No, no, I'm blocking you. I'm gonna kick your ass. Wait, because I do not want you on my live stream talking about somebody else, a different live streamer. No, we're talking about me right now. Be for real. Someone said BYOB. Yes. Okay. So you guys, we are having an event 2 nights from now. Make sure you guys are coming and ready to give. I was saying earlier. Sorry. I was saying earlier that I want you guys to not focus on me and gifting me. I want you guys to focus on everybody else on the panel. Rami is only on level 3. He's trying to level up a lot quicker. We're gonna raid Rami one of these days. I just need to be at a high enough level to do the raid feature. Yeah, Michael is he was only trying to get up to level 9, I think, but he ended up at level 12 by the end of the live stream. It was a good live stream. I liked it. It was fun, so much fun. Normally, when I'm watching other streamers that are my friends, I'm like sitting there thinking at like random points. I'm like, I could be live streaming right now. What am I doing, wasting my time? But when I was watching Michael, it was so much fun. I never thought it. No, he's such a fairy. Yeah, he's such a fairy. But yeah, the event's gonna be 2 nights from now. It starts at I think 7, and it's gonna be until 9, and we are going to do crazy stuff on live. We're going to play games at the very end, and we're gonna do challenges. Yes, there will be a panel match. I think it's gonna be a 3-on-3, and then we're each gonna like choose the person that we want to versus. Yep, yep, yep. Hell no, no. I'm actually You guys will see when the live happens. How about that? And we'll do the panel match then. Yes, but okay, but see, that's the thing. I was saying earlier, I don't want you guys to worry about that or the panel match or the panel match. I want you guys to focus on everybody else on the stream and just have fun. Yes, I know you cannot hear the music. I can't hear the music. How would you be able to hear it? You probably hear my water bottle. Thank you for the subscribe. Yes. Sorry, I got something in my mouth. I don't think I'm gonna be doing another live. Oops. I don't think I'm gonna be doing another long live stream for a while. No, it doesn't really help me. That's why. No, it doesn't really help me. So, yeah, I think no, I'll be online for as long as I have to. Recently, and probably for like the next 2 months until I get a job, because this is what's supporting me right now, and I really really appreciate y'all's gifts, but I am broke and I'm broke enough for two people to be broke, and the long streams just don't. I don't get anything out of it. People feel like they can sit there and watch, um, and wait to gift until a certain point, and I don't like it. If people were active the entire stream, of course I would, but I think that's only because I'm only at like a level 6 right now. We're almost to level 7, you guys. I'm not getting off the live until I get to level 7 because Michael is on level 12. Tiffany's on like 15. Yes, yes. Thank you. Thank you for a diamond. So, yeah, I'm trying to, reach my goals. I I'm getting help with my rent, but I still need money for like groceries. I need to eat. I need to pay my phone bill too. I don't know how the fuck I'm gonna do that. Because I barely figured it out the past 2 months. I need to figure that out. Hi, Kevin. No, no. I was going to use this money on the 6th to get like necessities because I don't have anything. I've been bumming it off my roommates and I need it. My rent's already paid for. Yeah, I've been bumming it from my roommates. So yeah, I'm staying on live until I get to level 7. I just was doing the gifts for fun. For fun pretty much. But that little bit of money is gonna help a lot. I really appreciate it. Thank you for the emojis, John. Thank you for the emojis, Karen. Thank you, Queenie. Queenie sent me a sale, you guys. Thank Queenie. 1991. Yeah. So I've been chilling. I've been trying to figure out, what I want to do with my life. I'm at this point. I was really ready to transition into this, you know, um, coaching stuff, but then I had to quit my job. So all that time I was going to spend doing that is gone. I could get another job and then, keep going. But, you know, with me still in a lot of classes still, I don't know. And plus you have to think about the fact that, you know, um, I was doing deadlines while I was working at that job, and then I was gonna quit as soon as I got to my end goal. Now, if I get another job, it's gonna be a totally different end goal, different deadlines. I don't know how long it's gonna take. I don't know how long it's gonna take, but uh, I don't know. I'm trying not to stress about it. I should be glad I don't have a job right now. I should be glad, but especially because that job really pissed me off every day. But I don't know. I'm still just so stressed about all the little things. I can't afford nothing I want. And then every time I do something like coaching, every time I do something for my coaching stuff, I feel like I could be working on the fact that I could be transitioning into this so I don't have to get another job, right? But the idea of me finishing all my classes and graduating and, you know, scaling my brand and not have to get another job, it's not possible. That's not possible. Especially if I want to start a coaching firm one day or like an agency. Thank you for the silver seal, John. Thank you for the emojis, Karen. So yeah, I don't know. I'm just not gonna start. I'm just gonna try to stress about it. It is a lot, but the more I stress about it, it's not gonna fix anything. It's not gonna fix anything. Yeah. So thank you guys. Thank you guys so much. Thank you. Yeah. So that's all we have planned for. You know, 2 nights from now. So make sure you guys are there. Make sure you guys are ready to send gifts. It's gonna be so much fun. It's gonna be so much fun. So, yeah, I think. Hold on, let me grab my drink. Yeah, it's gonna be so much fun, you guys. 2 nights from now. 2 nights from now at 7. Thank you guys. If I could just get the dragons, then we would be good. Let me see. Hold on. Because I forget. I forget, but I wrote it down when I was looking directly at it, so I remember. Yes, thank you guys. Thank you guys for the coins. for the super scroll. Yes, thank you guys. It was so much fun. Yeah. I think Danny started it, and we had been doing it on his live stream. The panel for, I think I came the third week, and I've been doing it ever since. We've been doing it for like 7 months. It's so much fun. And then we moved to Michael's. We do it on mine rarely. We don't do it on Tiffany's. But yes, it's so much fun. Yeah. Oh, but anyways, so, oh, can you guys hear the music? I was just making sure. Can you guys hear it? I was over there messing with it. I had to go to a different playlist. So I think next live stream, our goal is to get gifts, send gifts. So we're gonna try to send gifts to back and forth. I'm super excited about that. I hope you guys are there. Make sure you guys. Oh, thank you. Thank you. Oh my gosh, thank you so much. I hope you guys are there. We are gonna be sending gifts back and forth. Hopefully, I'm at a new level when we get to do it tomorrow. Yeah, it'll be. I see. I can't promise a set time, but it will be tomorrow in the morning. So if you get on in the morning, I will more than likely be on already. Thank you guys so much for the gifts. Oh my gosh. Thank you. Oh wow. Wow, thank you. So, okay, thank you for the title box. Okay, we got another dragon. Thank you. We're getting silver seals all over the place. Thank you. Thank you guys. I really appreciate it. I've been tired. I think it's because I've been sick. I think it's because I have been sick. But I don't know. I'm not sure. I wasn't really. Well, I kind of was, is why I'm thinking that. I'm not really sure. But I've been feeling so bad. I've been feeling so bad lately. Thank you guys so much for y'all support. I really appreciate it, especially when I'm going through such a hard time. I have a bunch of real ass fans on here. Thank you. Look, we're at 1,300. That's dope, bro. That's so dope. Thank you guys. Thank you guys so much for it. I appreciate it. I especially appreciate the support. Like, I can't thank y'all enough, bro. Yes, the live stream will be tomorrow in the morning. I will be live all morning, probably until like 1. I'm going to try to wake up early because I know I'm going to go to bed early tonight. So I'm going to try to wake up early and just be on live stream all night. I mean, all night, all morning, right? Somebody says because I don't have plans tonight. Yeah. This is a good song. This is what the Uh, third good song that was in a row. That's good. I'm trying to screenshot that. Chat is going crazy right now. That's so crazy. I love this chat. So yeah, that's not gonna have me tripping. But anyways, so I think that I don't know. I think I can try to, push it on Twitter, on Facebook. I could try on Instagram. I don't know. I could try on Instagram. I could try it. That's the least I could do, right? It's the least I could do because if I don't try, then I'll never know. So yeah, I'm going to try to um, get the content ready first, I think. I'm going to try to get the content ready. I'm going to try to batch as much stuff as I can, batch as much stuff as possible in like 4 days, right? I'm not going to even do like a week, in like 4 days, and then just start rapid posting because I don't even know what's really going on with that. It's been so quiet. It's been so quiet, and I don't know why. Thank you. Thank you for the gift. I need a box and I need someone to send me a dragon. Has it? You know what? I have not checked. Oh, it's right there. It should be on my screen somewhere. It's right there, I think. 243. That's all right. I mean, that's the thing though. Like, I'm not trying to be like the number one. Where's Danny then? Where's um, Michael on the ranking? Oh, okay, so he's like 100 ahead of me. I'm not trying to be like a top streamer or anything. I don't have to be like the number one streamer on here or at all, but I need to work on my funnels. It does not help that I, feel like shit today. Yeah, I'm on here. I'm making content. I'm, I give people the resources. There's not really a reason to, see it and not want to tap in. I don't understand why. I don't get it. I do not get it at all. I'm not sure if it's because my reach is bad, but I will try to fix that the best I can. I don't know because like in my head I'm like it's because of my appearance or something. I don't know. Yeah, I'm gonna try to batch as much content as possible. I need to clean my phone. I should have did that before I went live. I woke up and dropped it, and then I was trying to grab it and it slid under my bed and that got it super dirty. I can see it. I'm looking right at it. Maybe I do. Okay, so I have a hard drive that I have designated for all the content for the Telegram group. And if you guys don't know about the Telegram group, it's a spiritual group called it's called Life Society. And it's basically like a group where you can get connected and network and meet other spiritual people. It's super fun though. It's like very laid back spiritual stuff. But at the same time, that is not designated for transformation, right? Just kind of like a life, a lifestyle thing. I think it's very, very lifestyle based. But yeah, I share everything, all my content that I have from the internet, right? News reports, updates. I talk about spiritual gurus. I share commentary videos that I love. I share the memes that I love. I share video essays. I share books, music, zines, all that. I share all of it in that group. So it's vital that you are maintaining your growth in your in transformation and improving, getting enlightened, being a leader, all that stuff. But this is more of like a for a lifestyle thing. Oh, for the person who asked, it's free. You don't have to pay anything to be a part of the group. But in the group, on the group page, it says that there won't be any updates until we get to our quota. Yeah, I think that I need to share it more often. I haven't seen anyone. I haven't really made a lot of content. I've been struggling with that. I think I made a little bit. I think I made like 8 clips to post. it's kind of hard because, first of all, you don't really hear about Telegram groups that are like super popular, let alone, you know, like the marketing for it, the niche for it is kind of not there because people, you know, like don't go looking for that. But I want people that already, you know, have the app that are, huh? Yeah. I'm broke. I don't have no money. I get later. I was about to say, the longer you wait, the longer you gonna have to wait for it. Yeah, I was wondering if they still serving, bro. Yeah, it's only 9:30. You want me to go get it now? Yeah, I'll go. With a breakfast burrito with bacon or bacon and eggs. A breakfast burrito with or bacon and egg sandwich. Breakfast burrito with bacon. A bacon. Okay. Yeah, or a bacon and egg sandwich. They don't have breakfast burrito. Okay. And some jelly. And some jelly. I feel like shit, bro. All right. How much you gonna charge us long? Give me 2 and I'll be good. Right, can I get 3? Yeah. 3. 3 is fine. I'm going there and straight back, okay? So I think it's hard to promote it because I don't really know how to reach people that already have a Telegram group, you know. Someone said I could find people that are willing to get it. Yeah, but if I was willing to do that, I would have done it already. I would have done that already. Because my thing is, I think the people that already have a Telegram group would want more groups to be a part of, you know? Mine just so happens to be spiritual. I don't really know. I'm not sure yet. But I do need to figure it out, though. I do need to figure it out. So anyways, we're gonna run to the store, you guys. So I think we're gonna put a hold on the transformation series for this live stream. And then I already have plans for I want to talk about the next live stream because I have updates. But yeah. Don't worry. I'm gonna share some updates again with you guys. Before that live stream, this live stream at the end. So yeah. What are we talking about? What were we talking about this live stream? Oh, okay. So we're talking about alignment today. Sorry that the wind's blowing all crazy. So I think some of y'all have known because I've talked about it before, but I'm gonna recover it. So I'm sorry. Bear with me. Just stick with me, and we're gonna get through it. But I talked about it before about how alignment is adapting. So that's pretty much what we're gonna be talking about for right now. Because alignment is one thing that a lot of spiritualists don't teach you, right? Is that alignment is basically the awareness, right? But to stay aligned with the divine, with the universe, with your cosmic alignment, you have to understand something, and that's that everything is gonna change, everything is gonna shift, and it's not in your control. You just have to be willing to go with the flow and to do what you can do what you can, sorry, to just try to be, you know, above it, right? Because to keep your head above the water is not about you having to understand it. And you might not be at that point yet, but a lot of spiritualists get to that point where they are moving in faith. They don't know what's going to happen next. They don't know what's going on, what's working, in the bigger picture. They just trust. And you guys are going to have to learn that alignment is the ability to shift. You need to know that before you try to seek alignment, which is different from seeking peace. Because to keep your peace in alignment, you're going to have to understand things will change, things will adapt, things will evolve, things will transform, and you might not understand it. But the important thing is that if you're willing to continue down that path, you'll stick with it. You'll stick with it. So you have to understand that it takes patience, it takes faith, it takes for you to, you know, just believe that it'll work out. It'll work out. But you have to believe that it's unfolding, that it's unfolding in the right way. So yeah, I think that with alignment, you have to be ready to embrace the change that comes, whether you're ready for it or it's unexpected. I think that you have to be ready for those type of circumstances, those type of experiences, those type of situations, because that's what alignment is. A lot of us have this misconception about alignment, that like once we achieve alignment, like it's some set goal, right, our end game goal, that we will reach a pivotal point. when in reality it's just the point of pivoting continuously. So I wanted to talk about that. I'm really good at that. I'm really good at changing. I've embraced change very well. One time, I think I was talking about that, and I said something about change. You don't know where change goes, but that is the beauty of being willing to go wherever the universe is trying to lead you to, right? Because it's important, because you never know what direction you're going in sometimes, and it can be hectic, and it can be confusing, and it could be very nerve-wracking, right? But in those feelings of overwhelming, it's so easy and simple to just close your eyes and just move, and just decide, you're going to move, whether if it's the right direction or not, where you're going, where you don't, like, if you don't know where you're going, all that. I think it's very soothing because, trust is a very fickle thing in the first place. You trust one person 1 second, and then, all of a sudden you don't, you know? You never know when you stop trusting, but the universe is calling you to just trust the direction that it wants you to take. I was thinking about that yesterday night. I was supposed to be meditating, but I didn't meditate. I sure did get in bed. Yep. Thank you for the gift. So yeah, it's just a pivotal place of being able to willingly adapt. Because the universe can force you all you want to. You know that life. Everybody knows that life. That's the life that we live from the beginning. We need to learn to accept the fact that there are times and places where the universe does not want to fight with you about what direction you're supposed to be going. You have to be willing and accept the fact that there needs to be some ease on your behalf. The universe is all about balance. The universe is balance in duality. You have to know when to measure up, when to put up a fight, when not to put up a fight with the universe. Because sometimes you can argue, sometimes you can debate, sometimes you can let your opinion be known, but you still have to do it. You have to know those things. You have to know when the universe is calling you in a direction that you never thought of, or calling you in a direction that you had already had your mindset that you did not want to go down that path, right? I think sometimes with change, it can be hard because we don't know. I had that problem when I was younger because we moved a lot. But when I grew up, I, immediately grew out of that because I thought I started to grow this mindset of, change is actually beautiful when you think about it. Um, because as I got older, I realized I consider change things like the seasons, things like the weather, from like a rainy season to like it's finally sunny outside. That's how I imagine change. That's what change is. Change is when the grass starts to grow back after winter. It's just the little things. When a flower sprouts and is growing, but it doesn't bloom yet, and then a season comes where the flower develops. And like it's those things that I consider change. I don't want you guys to think that, you know, it's not supposed to be hard, because it is. It is every day. For me, for all the spiritualists you're watching, um, we struggle with that. We especially struggle with change. We hate when things are purposely changed up. We hate when things are, starting to be or feel different, you know? We hate it when someone comes and then shakes up everything. We hate that. We all do. But the fact that you need to learn to embrace it is because you are not adapting if you're not doing it with the amount of willingness that the universe is expecting of you. You're not. Whether it be a lot or a little. And we all know about the expectations of the universe because it's not easy. It's hard. It's hard to deal with that. And it always will be until the day that we die. But when we learn to shift, it can be this beautiful transformation that you never even know that will reveal itself a lot later. Wow, you did that with such ease. Wow, I did that the easy way without putting up a fight, and now I can do it right now. Watch me, right? Like, it's just those things that we need to be focused on, that we need to be patient about. It is. So another thing I wanted to talk about, some of you guys didn't know, I'm a pagan. Um, I don't really have a specific belief system. I just use it kind of as an umbrella term for my spirituality. If you guys didn't know that, that's all I'll share for right now because there's no need for me to go into all the great detail about my life story and all that about me being a pagan. I'm a pagan, and I just use that as an umbrella term for believing in multiple gods, multiple deities, multiple um, spirits that are a part of the source, right? And then I believe in source, right? I believe in the universe, right? Um, so I use that as an umbrella term for those of you that didn't know. A lot of people were wondering because I had posted something on social media about like 3 days ago. I haven't talked about it because I wasn't sure if it was like a thing or if people were just putting that just to, it just so happened to come up 2 or 3 times in the comments. But yeah, I realized it was a thing, so I wanted to address it. I haven't addressed it since it happened, which was like 3 days ago. I'm sorry, but yes, I do believe that people who practice the craft, you don't even have to be a witch, an alchemist, because I also practice you know, chaos magic. I also dabble in occult magic. That's where the chaos magic comes in. I just take what I need and I go. That's my whole craft. Um, but a lot of people were wondering about my stance on basically it was like, wait, what do you believe in? Do you believe that practitioners and people who practice the craft should be making it easy for people to um access magic like that, or do you stand against it, right? And I never answered. People are still commenting to this day. I responded to one person at the end of those comments that posted something today. um it has like 17 comments, all the same thing. You guys, I have a online wood shop. I own an online store where I sell magic and my services. That's not new. I would have shared that if I would have known that you guys had known that or didn't know that already. So whether it's a debate about should we be making magic in our practices, um, you know, accessible to people in the mainstream, of different cultures, all that, that's not a debate for me. Yes, I will do that. Whether I believe that or not is not, you're not going to get an answer out of me for that. But I will sell my services to people who need it, people who want it, because they are not practitioners like me that use magic the way that I do. I'm very crafty. I'm very observant. I appreciate and honor improvement. I appreciate and honor lifestyle the same way, whether it be urban, modern, postmodernist, whatever whatever you believe in. I honor that. A lot of witches don't because of what they believe in. And it's not because they have verbally said that or have proved it with their actions, it's their lifestyle that speaks for it. And there's nothing else that can speak for that. My lifestyle speaks for what I believe in, right? My actions speak for what I believe in. And the fact that I will give my services to, um, you know, practice for someone, or give my services to perform a spell, or give advice or critiques on someone who is doing, some voodoo work, right? I've done all those things not to make it accessible to anybody, but to make it accessible for the people who need it, everybody. Does that make sense? And I want to clarify that because it's getting on my nerves. People are still commenting on this comment this morning, and it's 2 o'clock in the afternoon, and I guarantee you that was not the last comment. The one that I responded to was not the last comment from this morning. That's crazy, you guys. That is insane. And it's not about, okay, I will give you, it's about the religious point of view, but at the same time, there aren't people who are super, super religious asking for magic spells, that are asking for someone to perform magic for them. There's not. It's only people who need it, people who desire it. And regardless of that, I do consultations for a lot of my spells anyways, to just analyze those people, to look into those people, to figure out what they really want, what they really need. I'm not just doing it willy-nilly, selling it to anybody, right? And I respect that. That is the new, today, as of today, that is what the new witch does. That is what the new witch does. And besides, as a pagan, I don't believe in any of that. My entire world is upside down to your point of view of your understanding, let alone upside down to how you see my life from the outside in, not from the inside out. Even if you did see it from the inside out, it would still be a point of view. That's what consciousness is. Whether I'm a new age pagan, whether I'm a practitioner, whether I'm a voodoo queen, because those people are not having the same problems that I'm having. I can be who I want to be. That's the beauty of being who the fuck you want to be. You can label me and box me in all you want to. Does not mean that I will fit. Does not mean that I will stay. Does not mean I will find alignment in those things. Like I said, I use the term pagan as an umbrella term. Pagan means believer of multiple gods before it means all the other stuff. Because all the other stuff comes with labels that they choose that I will not choose. And a lot of the influencers you watch and follow, you're not giving them a hard time about believing in this deity and also serving a different deity. You're not. But for me, it's like crossing religions or something. It's not. It's not that. It will never be that. I will do what I want to, when I want to do it. And so they need to understand that. Do not interact with those people. Don't argue with those people. Don't go back and forth with them. Because some of them I don't even know. If not majority of them. All of them. I don't even know who they are. They're just random followers that I have. Bots. Faceless faceless accounts with as far as I care. So don't interact with them. Don't argue with them. Don't feel like you brave and trying to tell them about me and while you're trying to tell them about themselves. Somebody should tell them about themselves, but it's not going to be me. So, and it's my post. So why are you in my comments? All that to say, just don't feel brave about me in the chats, because I don't care about no other influencers, and and not a single influencer has told me anything ever. I wish they would. I would check that. But as for the bots in the comments and white people, what? No, no, you will never get a response out of me like that. No. So don't fall for it, because I'm not falling for it. But yes, I have an online shop. I used to sell practices. I used to sell teachings. I used to sell actual spells. I used to sell tools to perform spells, different things. Like, it's not about making it accessible. None of that stuff was accessible in the first place, because before it even started, I was doing services to do it for people because they cannot do it. And that's the thing. They're not taking that into consideration. When a witch is buying spells, you know the person that they're buying the spell from knows what they're doing. I would not open a I would not open a witch store and let it get successful, wildly successful, if I had bad intentions. Because I sort of believe in 3 times 3, I sort of don't. It don't even really matter to you. So why fall for that? But yeah, these influencers today, they all do it. They all do it. Everybody does it. That is what the new witch does, which we're going to have to talk about one day. Now that I'm thinking about it. Now that I'm thinking about it, we're going to have a conversation about that. But none of them are getting problems, but they see, oh, I'm a practitioner. Oh, I'm a new ager. Oh, I practice chaos magic. Oh, but he also practices alchemy. You're mad in my comments leaving posts while I'm doing yoga in an open field with the peace and calm of nature. We have nothing to do with each other. Just saying.
Before the universe learned how to stand upright, before morality learned to comb its hair and choose a side, there was a compass, not metal, not magnetized, but breathing. It trembled whenever truth walked past, barefoot, spun wildly in its presence of prophets, and refused, absolutely refused, to point north. This is the first riddle of cosmic alignment, that direction does not exist. It has been spread by the comfortable that good and evil are costumes worn by forces too fast to be reduced to fabric, that chaos is not the absence of order, but its more honest confession. The hero learns this early, not to polish one's bones carved into statues, but the limping ones, the stuttering saviors, the poets who could never finish a sentence without tearing a hole in reality. They stood at crossroads. They were not intersections, but arguments, each path accusing the other of cowardice, each horizon whispering chosen in an indifferent tone of voice. Alignment charts were handed to them like manuals, lawful, neutral, and chaotic, good, evil, something in between, but those afraid to admit the hunger. But prophets do not color inside the diagram. They spill the ink. They stain the margins. They scribble footnotes that later become scripture or heresy, depending on who survived the century. A prophet aligned themselves not with law or rebellion, but with listening, with standing still long enough to hear the universe admit it. It does not know what it wants. It does not know what it was doing either. This is the path of the less chosen, not because it is hidden, but because it asks too much. It asks to be unarmored in a world that sells protection. It asks to hold compassion without demanding purity. It asks to forgive without becoming hollow, to fight without worshiping violence, to love without needing applause. Poets walk this path sideways. They never arrive straight on. They circle truths like constellations, mapping meanings, but not by the destination, by the relationship. A poet's alignment is lunar. It shifts. It pulls tides. It makes monsters feel misunderstood and heroes unbearable in the daylight. They speak in riddles because clarity is dangerous, because a clear sentence can be turned into a weapon, because certainty is the favorite language of tyrants, because wonder keeps the mind uncolonized. Heroes, meanwhile, are lied to. They are told the path is singular, individual, alone, that destiny is a sword handed down clearly, that destiny is a sword handed down clearly. I said that destiny is a sword handed down clearly, that prophecy is a straight line drawn by the gods who never had to live with the consequences, but the true heroes feel the fracture early in life. They listen, they sense the misalignment in their chest, the way the world applauds one version of them while their soul incites on another. They save the village and mourn the forest, burned it down to defeat the villain and recognize their own shadow, learning the same tactics as the villain sometimes. This is where the story scale bends, where the arc cracks. where speech bubbles. It cannot hold the weight of the silence, where the universe zooms just far enough to reveal that every war was once a prayer, misunderstood. God is not clean and evil is not always cruel. I said order can suffocate and chaos can liberate. The chaos in the cosmos, they do not grade on intention alone. It watches the resistance. It measures in how the poet resonates. It listens for the echoes. A singular act of kindness performed without witnesses. This can easily outweigh 1,000 victories staged for history. A single lie told to preserve comfort can tilt the entire age toward decay. Alignment, then, is not a position. It is a practice, a daily meditation for the inner instrument of the body being church. A willingness to admit I may be wrong, but I will not sleep. The past, less chosen, winds through the paradox it requires, holding fire without worshiping it, walking the darkness without letting it name you. Standing between extremes long enough to be misunderstood by both. This is why the prophets are exiled, why poets are dismissed, why heroes are only celebrated when they are already dead. On safety in fictional stories, the living ones are the inconvenient. They ask questions that destabilize economies of belief. They refuse to simplify suffering. They decline crowns that require silence. They align themselves with becoming, with the unfinished sentences of existence, with the universe in mid-thought, with wonder as an ethical stance. Wonder is not the crib. It is the resistance. It is the refusal to let the world convince you that mystery must be conquered instead of communed with. So if you feel out of place, If your compass spins when others march, if your morality feels too alive, you are not broken. You are walking the older road, the one drawn by barefoot stars, the one where prophets doubt, poets bleed truth into metaphor, and heroes choose not glory, but responsibility. It's an obligation. The cosmos do align, but they do not need to be perfect. It needs you aligned enough to listen, brave enough to act, and humble enough to change. And somewhere beyond good and evil, beyond law and chaos, beyond the final panel of the story, the last arc, the universe leans in, oh so curious by wonder, to see what you do next. The universe is not held together by rules alone. It is held together by relationship, by forces that say come closer without erasing choice. Everybody has its own field. Every soul bends space in its own way. Some pull storms, some pull peace. Some teach others how to stay in motion without falling apart, without flying apart. We feel this when someone enters a room and the air rearranges itself, when silence grows heavier or softer depending on who is near, when time behaves differently around certain people. You call it chemistry. The cosmos call it recognition, and gravity does not ask if you are ready. It asks if you are honest about your mass, about what you carry, about the weight of your history, about the density of your becoming, listing things that drift easily, heavy things anchor worlds, and so the universe builds slowly. Nebula build like breath held too long, solar systems like families, learning how to not collide, galaxies like cities on fire, kept intact by mutual pull. Even expansion does not deny gravity. The universe grows, yes, but it grows together. Clusters still form, structures still emerge, love adapts. It always does. If you have never ever felt the pull toward a calling you did not choose, toward a person who rearranged your future, toward a truth that bent your life out of shape, that was gravity, not fate, not punishment, an invitation written into space and time, the beautiful truth that it is, you are already participating. The body is a miracle of balance, electrons, loyalty, and nuclei, cells agreeing to cooperate, a heart holding rhythm against entropy's insistence. You wake each day because gravity remembers you, because the earth refuses to let you go, because the sun keeps showing up at just the right distance to warm us without erasing us. Existence is an ongoing embrace, so when you feel yourself falling toward art, toward healing, toward love, toward the version of yourself that feels heavier without meaning, do not panic. You are not losing control. You are learning how the universe stays intact. Gravity is not here to end you. It is here to keep you. It is here to keep you from drifting into nothing, and somewhere between the spin of galaxies and the quiet pool of your own becoming, the cosmos, they are still waiting to write the letter unfinished but unmistakably addressed.